Good afternoon or good morning. Welcome to our Wednesday webinar. It's a pleasure to have you here. My name is Mayra Carter, and I'm the interim National Family Support Network director of training and implementations. And today we will have an overview of the standards of quality for family strengthening and support. So just a few things to get us started. For those of you that are on your PC, you will listen to this webinar through your speakers. For those of you that decided to use the phone option that Zoom provided, I just wanted to flag that your presentation, your microphone have been muted, and that is just to avoid background noise. So let us dive in. And as you can see, we have a map of the United States. So we want to know who's in our virtual room today. So for that, we're going to launch a poll, and it's about who's joining us today. Now, with that said, I want to say that today with us, we have tech support, and we have Miss Kathy Johnston and Mr. Felipe de Lima. So if you have any technical issues, please go ahead and chat with them privately and let them know what the issue is, and they will do their very best to help you and support you. So here's the poll. Where are you joining us from? Are you perhaps from the Northeast, the South, the Midwest, the West, from Canada, or other international country? So I give you a few seconds to just answer the poll. Right? In a few seconds, Miss Kathy is gonna close the poll. And let's see. All right. So we have great representation, 38% in fact, from the West Coast. We also have a tie, 24% between the South and the Northeast. And we have 14% of you that come from the great Midwest. Thank you for your participation. We have a great geographical diversity in the room with us today. That's always so exciting. So let's talk about the family support, National Family Support Network. So just a little bit of history, a little bit of context for you. It was founded in 2011 by 8 state networks as a membership organization. Now it had grown over the years to actually 41 member networks of more than 3,000 family resource centers. Truly excited. As you can see right here on the slide, those states that are green, those are the networks that are affiliated with the National Family Support Network. What is our goal? Our goal is that all the states, all this map completely will be covered in green. So the NFSN mission is actually to promote positive outcomes for all children, for families and communities, by leveraging the collective impact of state family resource center networks and championing quality family support and strengthening practices and policies. What is the NFSN vision? It's a nation in which every family is thriving and every state has a strong and effective family resource center network. Our mission and vision. And you might ask, where are the NFSN areas of work? Well, the first one is connecting and convening member networks to enhance their effectiveness. So it's increasing really that connectivity amongst members for peer learning and mutual support. Second one, we promote family best practice and evaluation. So raising awareness of what quality family support is, and actually promoting a common language of the standards, right? An evaluation of it through the national implementation of the standards of quality for family strengthening and support. And number three is raising the visibility of the value and impact of family strengthening and support networks. So in order to strengthen and increase support for the families that we serve. So I just want to provide an agenda of the time that we're going to spend today. And of course, the first item on the agenda is a background of the standards. Secondly, a standards overview. Third, standard implementation, both at a program level and at a system level. We will then have a Q&A section, and then we will talk about NFSN resources and opportunities. And when you leave this webinar, an evaluation will pop up for you, and we strongly encourage you to provide your valuable feedback. This is the information that we receive, that we analyze, and we make changes as appropriate based on the feedback that is provided. So it's extremely valuable. So just to dive in, our focus is on families who are responsible for raising children. Now, these families actually consist of at least one adult and one child who are related biologically, emotionally, or legally. Now, families may consist of one parent, two parents, grandparents, foster parents, legal guardians, or they may arise from a need of mutual support, for mutual support. So just to give you a little bit more of history and context for the standards, in 2012, the California Network of Family Strengthening Networks develops the standards of quality for family strengthening and support. That's the birth of the quality for family strengthening and support standards, right? In 2013, the National Family Support Network, NFSN, adopts the standards for national implementation. In 2020, NFSN engages member networks across the country, parent leaders, Canadian family support organizations, and the Center for the Study of Social Policy to review and revise the standards with a focus on diversity, equity, and inclusion and relevance for both the US and Canada. In 2021, a new version was approved by the NFSN membership. So what is the importance of these standards? Well, the standards help us ensure that families are supported and strengthened through quality practice. They actually create a common language and expectations across different kinds of family strengthening programs. It is designed to be used by all stakeholders, public departments, foundations, community-based organizations, and families. And this is a tool. This is a tool for planning, for providing, and for assessing quality practice. So actually, we don't sell the standards. The standards are All the implementation tools are available for free download on the NFSN website, www.nationalfamilysupportnetwork.org/standards. So how do we apply the standards? How do we apply the standard? For that, I have a second poll, and it's about your affiliation in your organizations, in your work. What is your affiliation? So I give you a few seconds to complete the poll. A few more moments. Miss Katie, you can close the poll, please. All right, let's take a look. Wonderful. So we have 45% today from family resource centers. That is amazing, wonderful. We have 18% from early care and education. Welcome, welcome. 14% from other family support programs. So glad that you're here. We have 6% from education. Wonderful. And 12% from government. Thank you. Again, not only do we have geographical diversity, we also have diversity in affiliations. Love it, love it, love it. Thank you so much. So let's talk about your roles, your affiliations, and how can you apply the standards, right? That's what it's all about. How can we apply the standards? So for family strengthening and support programs, it serves as a blueprint for implementing best practice. It's also for help for self-assessment, and it demonstrates quality. For direct service staff. It helps direct service staff to reflect on and enhance their work with family, which is extremely important. For networks as family strengthening and support providers, for quality assurance, for training and technical assistance, and also to adopt as expectation for membership. For policymakers, very important, it helps to endorse for application in their areas of influence. For funders, to integrate into requests for proposals, monitoring, and quality assurance. And for families, to partner with programs to apply the standards and provide feedback about how well program is applying the standards. So everybody have a role. Except. So the program application of the standards. So with that said, I believe I have the third poll that asks, what is your role? What is your role? So it reads, which level do you work at? So I give you a few seconds to also complete this poll. Right, Miss Katie, can you please close the poll? Here we go. Excellent. We have 50%. 50% of you are at the program direct service level. Wonderful. 24% of you are at the management level, 15% at other level, and 4% at the policy system level. Thank you for participating in this poll. So, to implement the standards successfully, it actually requires the commitment and support of all levels of program responsibility, from executive directors to managers, to coordinators, to direct service staff, parent leaders, and families. Everybody have a role. So, what are the foundational framework of the standards? The standards uniquely integrate and operates the principles of family support practice developed by Family Support America. They are research-based, evidence-informed, strengthening families' protective factors and framework and approach. All this was developed by the Center for the Study of Social Policy. So we have 9 principles of family support. So let us go ahead and dive in on the first one. Principle 1 is staff and families, they work together in relationships based on equality and respect. Extremely important when we're working with families. We should make sure that these relationships are based in equality and respect. The second principle, my apologies, I moved the slide. The second principle, staff enhances families' capacity to support the growth and development of all family members, adults, youth, and children. And in our programs, it might be just one person in that family unit that is participating in the program. But the ideal is to have all members of the family involved at some capacity. That proved to be extremely successful when we include all members of the family. Principle 3, families are resources to their own members, to other families, to programs, and to communities. Families bring with them their own testimonials, right? Things that have happened to them, and they bring just this richness of experiences. And there are also great resources for other families. They're great resources to the program. They bring great ideas, and they are also fantastic resources to the communities that are being served. Principle 4 is one of my favorites. Is the program affirms and strengthens families' cultural, racial, and linguistic. Sorry, my PowerPoint just disappeared. Here we go. Principle 4, the programs affirm and strengthen families' cultural, racial, and linguistic identities and enhance their ability to function in what we have today, a multicultural society. Principle 5, the programs are embedded in their communities and contribute to the community building process. Super important. The programs are embedded in their communities and contribute to the community building process. Principle 6, the programs do advocate with families for services and systems that are fair, that are responsive, and accountable to the families served. Principle 7, practitioners work with families to mobilize formal and informal resources to support family development. So committed resources, right? Committed resources. Principle 8, programs are flexible and continually responsive to emerging family and community issues. We adapt to the community needs. We adapt to the family needs. So we have to be responsive to those needs. Principle 9 is what we call the catch-all principle. Principles of family support are modeled in all program activities, including planning, administration, and governance. Planning, administration, and governance. Now, the Strengthening Families approach was actually developed by the Center for the Study of Social Policy in 2005. It's research-based and evidence-informed. So it results increase family stability, enhances child development, and reduce child abuse and neglect. Child abuse and neglect. Now we are also work in the framework of the 5 protective factors. And they are parental resilience, social connections, concrete support in time of needs, knowledge of parenting and child development, and also social and emotional competence of children. Oh, one moment, please. This have moved. Miss Katie, I'm having technical difficulties.
Yes, Myra, I think if you want to like unshare your screen and fix that like you did earlier when you were able to access it, because right now you're just previewing the PowerPoint.
Yes.
PowerPoint app.
My apologies.
It's okay, but if instead of previewing it in that screen, if you fully open the PowerPoint, you should be able to slide that photo over.
Let me move it. This little slide has given me a little bit of difficulty today.
If you can't get it to move over, I'm sure you could just read it out loud and then move on to the next slide as well. If you want to just share your screen again too, whenever you're ready.
Yes, let me do that. Hold on. My apologies, I will reshare my screen. Allow me just one moment. Miss Katie, let me know if you can see my screen.
All right, it's pulling up now.
Okay, perfect.
It looks great. Good to go.
Thank you, Miss Katie. That's why you need tech support. You cannot do it without tech support these days. So glad to have them. So there are 5 sections to the standard, 5 sections to the standard. The first one is family-centeredness. So working with a family-centered approach that actually values families and recognizes them as integral to the program. We couldn't do it without the families that we serve. The second one is family strengthening and is supporting families to be strong, healthy, and safe. thereby promoting their success and optimal development. One of my favorites, diversity, equity, and inclusion, is valuing, is respecting, and embracing families' diversity and advancing in the field, equity and inclusion. Community strengthening is working in collaboration with other stakeholders and supporting families' civic engagement, leadership, development, and ability to affect systems change. Evaluation, some people don't like evaluations. This one is my true favorite one, looking at areas of program strength, as well as areas for further development in order to guide continuous quality improvement and achieve positive results for families. A great tool. Evaluation is an incredible tool. So what is the structure of the standards? Well, let's start by saying that there are 15 standards. Every standard have indicators. Each standard includes 1 to 2 sets of indicators of both foundational quality and high quality. Now, the foundational quality indicators demonstrate the basic application of the standards. And I always like to mention this. Foundational quality is still quality. Now, programs built upon the foundational quality indicators to achieve the high quality indicators, which actually represent a deeper integration of the standards. You cannot build a house without a solid foundation. So what is the structure? What is the structure of the standards? Each of the indicators is followed by 2 to 4 examples from the field that illustrates its application. Now, this is not meant to be an exhaustive list or a specific checklist. As programs apply the standards, they are actually encouraged to identify their very own examples that demonstrate the indicators in ways that are relevant to their communities. So as you can see here, we have foundational quality indicators and high quality indicators. And at the bottom, you have our continuum of quality practice. So let me explain. So foundational quality indicators create a solid family strengthening and support program foundation. Are met with reasonable scope of resources of a family strengthening and support program. They are built, high quality, I should say, is built upon foundational quality being in place first. Programs are always encouraged to strive to meet them in order to serve families more effectively. So some might require capacity building and more investment to meet. Let's talk about high quality indicators now. So implementing the standards is a developmental process, and it is common that program might seize aspects of their work on different points along the quality continuum. And that's perfectly all right. So what you see at the bottom of the slide, you see the continuum of quality practice. You see foundational quality, not yet addressed, moving on in the continuum from left to right, approaching foundational quality, meets foundational quality, then meets foundational and approaching high quality, and meets foundational and meets high quality. If you notice, this arrow continues because there's no such thing as maximum quality. There's no such thing as maximum quality. When you achieve high quality, you have to keep on going. What else can you do? What other implementation tools you can add to continue achieving high quality? Quality never ends, never. So how do we move? So how do we move from foundational to high quality? Well, again, these are the sections of the standards. Family centeredness, family strengthening, diversity, equity, and inclusion, and community strengthening. These are the first 4 sections of the standards. The 5th one is evaluation, but right now we're talking about these 4. So you see the foundational quality indicator, you see the arrow, and the high quality indicator. So in order to move from foundational to high quality, we must have a formal structure, staff training, and family partnership. And this will move from foundational quality to high quality, because high quality means a deeper integration. So now I would like to show you an example of family centeredness, and it's the standard FC. FC obviously stands for family centeredness. FC.1, the program engages families to participate in program development and implementation. So right underneath, you see FC 1.1, foundational quality indicator. The program solicits input from families to shape and plan the program and services. In order, and that's great, foundational quality is still high quality, quality, I should say. But to move from foundational to high quality, for this indicator pair, we will need a formal structure and family partnership. The high quality indicator to the right, FC 1.1, programs design supports partnering with families to have an active role in the development and implementation of the program. So if you notice, the words that have been bolded under high quality are design and partnering with families, right? Design and partnering with families. When you look at the arrow, that's exactly what we need to move to high quality. So I always say that the implementation of the standards is always intentional. We have to be intentional about what we do in our programs. So now we talk about the arrows and about the indicator pairs for the first 4 sections of the standards. First 4 sections of the standards. But the evaluation section is completely different, and it does have a different elements inside the arrow. So you will see, as you saw in the other sections, you will have a foundational quality indicator, and of course, you also have a high quality indicator. But the elements inside the arrow to move from foundational quality to high quality are different. For example, we have data analysis. And when I trained for certification trainings, I always tell the participants, that we always ask, everybody's always asking for feedback. But in reality, what are we doing with that feedback that we receive? That's why it's vital to analyze data that we receive in our programs. Now, once you analyze that data, you will share the evaluation results. You share your evaluation results with all your stakeholders. And based on that analysis, and after sharing evaluation results, we implement program modification based on that data that was received. When we do this, we had obtained a deeper integration. So for the evaluation section, we have implementation tools. And one of them, which is fantastic, is the program self-assessment tool. So this is actually designed for program teams of managers, the direct service staff, and parent leaders to reflect on the standards implementation and quality improvement. And if I have more time, I will tell you the testimonials of programs that I have worked on in my state and how that tool really had helped us and had made us move from foundational to high quality. Now, we also have another one, very important tool, and that is the staff self-reflection tool. Now, these are 18 self-reflection questions for staff members to use as a daily reminder to implement the standards. And I'm in my home office right now, but I do have my copy of the staff self-reflection tool in the wall right behind my PC. So it's a constant reminder, right? Constant reminder. And there's also the standards participant survey. These are also 18 questions for program participants to indicate how well a program is meeting the standards from the family's perspective. And this particular one will be available in English, Spanish, and Chinese. Now, let's talk about training. Let's talk about training. So training is, I cannot even stress it enough. Training is a fundamental strategy for implementing the standards effectively. So the first step is certification training, obviously. So we're working on eventually going back in person, but for now, we have the virtual training, and it's actually designed for all management and direct service staff, as well as for funders. And the participants receive a certificate that is actually valid for 2 years. After that step in your network, you may want to develop trainers, certified NFSN trainers. Now, this one is a 4-day in-person or 5-day virtual training for representative of the NFSN networks to be able to conduct the certification training in your area. It's extremely important to develop training. I cannot stress it enough, and be able to really do the certification trainings in network. Now, I want to show you this. This is the standard certification trainings nationwide. And as you can see, in this case, we cover our network states in blue. So actually, the evaluation scores are pretty impressive. So the overall satisfaction with the standards is 4.78 out of 5. And the readiness after training to implement the standards is 4.54 out of 5. To the right of this particular slide, you can see the states in alphabetical order, and you can see the number of trainings, the number of certified individuals, and the current numbers of trainers in those particular state networks. So again, continuing talking about certification trainings, actually the post-certification training surveys had shown that 91% of the respondents indicated that the standards enhanced their program work with families. And at the end of the day, I know that's all that we want. And at least 85% of the respondents reporting using one or more of the standards implementation tools, which is incredible. Now, we have some testimonials, and I always believe in the power of testimonials, right? We can talk about things all day long, but when we see the actual testimonials, it just brings everything into focus. So from Pittsburgh, PA, We have learned to really focus on a strength-based approach to working with families we serve, as well as our coworkers, right? We have learned to self-assess our center services and welcoming environment and the ways that we can improve in these areas. Outstanding, outstanding. From Hartford, Connecticut. I use them to implement the grant guidelines and action plans. It is a great tool for programs to use to enhance their services. Absolutely correct. From Stevens Point, Michigan, we use the standards at staff meetings to discuss what we can do to improve. And when you come to your certification training, you will see in that evaluation section how powerful it is to use the self-assessment tools, the staff assessment tool. It is really incredible, and it can be used on staff meetings. So we support network development, obviously. So the network forms and expanded through the standard certification training, first step. The network strengthened capacity and sustainability through developing trained trainers. And I cannot stress it enough, and encourage you to really develop your trainers. Develop some trainers in your network. So all funds that are generated through standard certification trainings are invested back into supporting your networks. It's something to keep in mind. So right here, you will see, and what you're looking at is the program implementation continuum, program implementation continuum. So obviously, the first step is to prepare. So actually, by being right here today on this webinar, you are on that very first step. You're preparing. When you attend the certification training, then you are on the third step, which is attending certification training. And the continuum move, just like that quality arrow, right? It never ends. Now I want to show you some examples of implementation models. This particular one comes from the Standards of Quality for Family Strengthening and Support, the San Francisco Implementation Program diagram. So as you can see, they have training. So training where they have a full day training for all managers and direct service staff. And I'm looking at the second column at the top. The programs are encouraged to participate as team. Participants receive a certificate which is valid for 2 years. That's the first step. So the tools are the workbook, trainer, the binder. And then continuing there, they have additional trainings and technical assistance from NFSN. And after 2 years, you can attend the standard recertification training. You see the same for assessment in the middle of the slide with the program self-assessment tool. And this is an incredible critical thinking exercise by programs as team managers, direct service staff, parent leaders, and other stakeholders. So we encourage you to use this tool annually. From there, there's the participant survey and the staff self-reflection checklist that I previously mentioned. Once you're a member, is your commitment to implement the standards in your network, and the key management and direct service staff trained and certified, excuse me, and the annual standards program review. So that is the model that was created by San Francisco. Now, this model was created by the Colorado Family Resource Center Association, and is the working training pyramid. As you can see, there's that up arrow, and it's actually for Family Resource Center staff training and the base level to advance the trainers. So at the bottom of the pyramid, you see the standards of quality for family strengthening and support. Then moving up, we see the strengthening families protective factors, and at the top of the pyramid, we see the family development credential. So two very different models, very effective, both of them. So you say, okay, Mayra, that's wonderful, but why do you think that we need to adopt the standards? Well, it deepens your practice. And the second one is my favorite. When everybody in your organization, including funders, including parent leaders, staff, everybody, come to the certification trainings, everybody will be speaking the same language, the language of quality. It developed partnership opportunities and actually utilize shared measurement systems that I mentioned. So another thing is to do something very concrete to advance diversity, equity, and inclusion. And last but not least, you become part of a national movement. So let me suggest a few next steps for you. Go to our website, and Ms. Kathy, can you please chat out all the materials for this webinar? So Ms. Kathy will chat out the materials in a moment. So we ask that you download the standards and you review them. Review your possible next steps along the program or network standards implementation continuum. Participate in that standard certification training that is offered by your state network or the NFSN. Now, for funders in states without networks currently offering the standard certification training, review the standards training page to learn more about how to contract with the NFSN to bring the training to your particular state. Now we come to that lovely part of Q&A, questions and answers, and I'll do my very best to answer any questions that you may have. If I don't know the answer, I will make sure that one of my colleagues at NFSN will respond. Miss Kathy, I cannot see the parking lot.
You mean the Q&A?
Q&A parking lot? Okay, I see it now. Thank you.
Yes, okay, good.
Thank you. All right. So I don't see any open questions on the Q&A part, but that doesn't mean that if you think about a particular question after the webinar, you cannot contact me, because I will give you my contact information. Before I give you my contact information, I want to just have a few NFSN announcements. We have, of course, every Wednesday, the NFSN Webinar Wednesdays. And next Wednesday, January 31st, from 2:30 to 3:45 Eastern Standard Time. I love this one. Here's where to find that. An overview of NFSN resources. As you know, these Webinar Wednesdays are completely free, so please, I encourage you to get your ticket as soon as you can. On February 21st, from 2:30 to 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, Exploring the Connection, Community Action Agencies and Family Resource Centers. Very good, is incredible. On February 28th, from 2:30 to 3:45 Eastern Standard Time, Under the Radar to All the Rage, Family Resource Centers and Family Resource Center Networks. Now, this particular training, I must give you a quick testimonial. I took this training years ago, and I'm highly impressed with this training. Is developing and sustaining effective parent advisory committees. We have two coming up, one on February 26th and 27th. The last time to register is February 22nd. The second one is on March 18th and 19th, and you must register by March 14th. I have limited time, but I'm always very excited about this training. It's a unique, also highly rated virtual training for program staff to maximize the great potential on parent advisory committees. If you can, please take this training. It's co-trained by NFSN staff and an experienced national parent leader. And trust me, these parent leaders are incredible. They're amazing. So we also have standard certification training, or what we call NFSN open trainings. One is coming up on February 22nd and 23rd. And the last day to register is February 12th. And also March 21st and 22nd, with the last day to register March 8th. To register, please go to www.nationalfamilysupportnetwork.org. So you can check the certification training page on the NFSN website to see if your state has a network that currently offers the standard certification training, so you can take it with your network. And this is our Together for Families conference. It happens every other year, and it's an international virtual conference. We're very excited about it, on October 22nd through 24th. So it is incredible the number of presenters that NFSN brings to the conference, and it's just incredible. And as promises, I promise my contact information again. My name is Mayra Cotter, and I am the Interim Senior Manager of Standards Training and Implementation. My email is mayra@nationalfamilysupportnetwork.org. My mobile number is 210-760-1728. And of course, again, I'm going to repeat our website, www.nationalfamilysupportnetwork.org. So we're coming to your next steps and evaluation survey that will appear at the end. But first, I truly want to thank you for your participation. I want to thank you for being here with us. We know how busy you are, and you carve some time to join us today. So with that, I want to wish you a fabulous rest of your week, and also a lovely evening. Thank you for your attention, and hope to hear from you soon.